Hey everybody, so after about 2 months of being sick, things just kept going downhill, like platelets and hemoglobin, and all my numbers were just continuing to drop. Needed more transfusions, and a big turning point was when I had this really bad nosebleed that just wouldn't stop bleeding. Um, Went back to the hospital, and some things changed after that. And one of the biggest fears with having low platelets is that you can start bleeding at any time, specifically in your brain, which would be fatal and like spontaneously. So there's just kind of constant fear. Luckily, this was just a nosebleed, like a spontaneous nosebleed. But the rest of this video delves about that experience, and it's also Instagram style like the others. Going into second bone marrow biopsy soon. Lots of blood yesterday. I don't want to talk about it. It was really miserable and really painful. Lots and lots and lots of blood everywhere. So send positive vibes. Pumped on just enough medication to be off but not out. I'd honestly prefer to be out. Good vibes only, frustrated, angry. Lots of oxy and steroids, and definitely a bit off. Please no questions right now. I'll make a post later about it. They did the bone marrow biopsy right here. At least it's over now. So an update. Yesterday morning I had a spontaneous nosebleed. Blood was gushing everywhere. Lost a lot of blood. I went to the doctors and they sent me to the emergency room. I lost over a unit of blood. I'm still in the hospital. Symptoms aren't lining up with ITP. Treatments have had no effect. That's positive. So getting more tests, most likely a new diagnosis. They don't think it's ITP anymore. New doctors are working on it, and as usual, time will tell. I lost a lot of blood. My body was really messed up. I'm still on a ton of big kid painkillers. Maybe later I'll be more able to process, but right now I just want the pain to stop and go back to my $7 coffee shop. I've been really struggling. Feel free to rate a favorite memory of us or something you admire. I could really use some positivity. There was some miscommunication between myself and the doctors. I told the doctors I'm not going to risk getting an infection with these nose inserts just because it's the weekend and they can't communicate. They requested a specialist to make the weekend visit. Hey everybody, so I'll be honest, I've just been frustrated, really frustrated, just angry, all day, probably the last couple days. I don't know if it's the medication, like the painkillers, lack of sleep. I think partly after a month of being told that I have ITP and being treated for ITP, and then being told that it's not ITP anymore, warrants some frustration. I think I lost so much blood a couple days ago and felt so sick and in pain that warrants some frustration. I've been here by myself, especially this trip. It's just been me. And people kept asking, where's your family? Are they going to come? And I kept saying no. They asked so many times. I asked for them to write in my bio. And finally, what is the most immediate frustration? That I just want these freaking things out of my nose. I hate them. They're painful. And I've been asking for days. Frustrated. Yesterday, blood was pouring from my mouth and nose. Basically, the blood would run into my throat and then I'd cough it up out my mouth, and it was just a mix of blood everywhere. Today, still on a lot of drugs, and it's kind of a creepy slow walk around the hospital. Low oxygen, hard to focus, still in pain from the bone marrow biopsy. It really feels like some exorcism vibes lately. So, hey peeps, I think I'm going through steroid withdrawal. If you notice extreme anger, then extreme depression, then godly happiness accompanied with extreme fatigue. Yeah, apparently that's normal. Sorry peeps, don't worry too much. Per suggestion, I stopped taking the oxy, so hopefully skipping any withdrawal from that. Plus, it's just been a really hard time. No excuse. Preliminary test results back. My body no longer has the ability to make platelets. I'm not making any at all. I'll be living completely off transfusions for a while. Don't really want to talk about it, just an update. Thanks for listening. Estimated 2 weeks for a test to determine how bad my body really is, if it's curable or not, if I have something deathly or not, what the expected lifespan is. So it's going to be a stressful couple weeks waiting on that, but we will see. Hoping for the best. And so after 5 days in the hospital, the doctors finally let me go home. They referred me to a different doctor in Charlotte that specializes in blood disorders. They don't think it's ITP anymore. They're really not sure what I have, but the journey continues.